soil, I remembered love. You wake in the soil, not above it, within. Your mouth is filled with ash and roots. You do not breathe, for you do not remember how. The sun is not where you left it. It is lower now, closer, tired and watching. You feel its heat in your bones, but you do not warm. You are being remembered. There is a name under your tongue, not yours, older. When you speak it, the worms in your skull begin to sing. You join them, for you have always known the melody. You run. The sky is screaming, and the heavens are giving birth to fire. There is beauty amidst the horror. You clutch their hand in desperation, pulling them along behind you. You do not remember when you first took it, only that you have never let go. Their name is a familiar rhythm behind your teeth, well used, well loved. You do not say it, for you fear doing so will shatter it. The streets of Surathel are glowing now, holy light cascading through the temple spires like molten judgment. Somewhere to the east, the priestesses of Anshar are singing. You hear them as they are set ablaze, their mournful symphony burning away into screams. You remember it clearly. Long ago, beneath the boughs of the great trees, the scent of ghost orchids floated upon the air as you both danced beneath the moon and stars at high spring. The same priestesses had swung their censers, the air warm and filled with the delicate scent of crushed moon blossom. You offered your praises to the Earth Mother, celebrating her verdancy with fertility rituals of your own, enacted beneath luminous Nerean skies. You had both been so young then, joyous and full of hope, a love that burned bright and beautiful, like the veil itself, a constant, reassuring flame in your heart. Even then you spoke of children, not as some future, abstract dream, but a certainty. I'll teach them to shape clay, you said, and I'll teach them to read the stars, said they. That was the future you held between you, soft and sacred. A voice buried deep within your mind tells you that to resist the coming storm is futile, that you should find a quiet place to lie down and accept your fate, face the oncoming oblivion in each other's arms. You reject that voice. Instead you run, pulling your love behind you, passing through empty sandstone streets. Most of Zurathel's people have fled the city already. More had perished. Pausing beneath a crumbling portico, you see the sandstone etched with prayers that no longer hold their shape. Your chest heaves, inhaling air thick with embers and the scent of burning oil. They lean into you, too tired to speak, their breath rattling in your ear. Across the plaza, a priest you recognize stumbles from the doorway of the shattered Church of Continuance. His robes are half gone, eaten by the flames. He falls to his knees and begins to pray. You used to walk past that temple every 8th day. Your beloved like the murals, gold and indigo, tracing the threads of time like rivers. They said that it made them feel safe, the idea that nothing was ever truly lost. The priest does not pray to the newborn god. You cannot hear his words, but you know the cadence. It is a firstborn hymn, dedicated to the Watcher. His voice rises, steady and defiant, singing until the fire finds him, until his song gives way to screams. Your beloved squeezes your hand. Their eyes do not leave the ash where he kneels. We should go, you say. Not yet, they whisper. Let him finish. Let us be his last witness. He was good to us. It does not take long. You pass beneath the gates, rushing through the markets where the nomadic Sarkar used to sell sun fruit, gathered from the shimmering grasslands of the south. The twins used to love them. Fingers sticky, cheeks sun-warmed, juice running down their chins as they laughed. You always bought too many. There is nothing left now. Only statues with melted faces, cracked cobbles and charred remains. You see others running from the golden fire. They shepherd their families through the red-hued streets. You make eye contact with a father who had slowed to catch his breath. He carries a daughter. He nods at you with no hope in his eyes. It is simultaneously a silent farewell and a shared hope that you both might live to see a new dawn. You both hurry onwards, continuing on your path through the market. Suddenly you feel an intense blistering heat behind you, then the crash of your body against the cobblestones as your beloved tackles you into an alleyway. A solar flare scours the street behind you. The smell of burning flesh fills the air. The briefest of screams, cut short. Another family who will never see tomorrow's dawn. Do you remember what you said? Your beloved murmurs, their forehead resting against yours. They look tired now, so very tired. I said a lot of things. Not that night. The night the stars fell. The night we wove the garland. When we bled into the cup. You swallow. Those words seem apt now. I said I will hold you through the breaking of all things. I will find you even if the world burns. You did. They smile. You always said impossible things. You smile, but it's broken. I meant it, you think. I still do. But you say nothing. Instead, you get to your feet, holding them tighter as the sky begins to break, collapsing into each other's arms like you were made for this ruin, as if the burning world was created just for the two of you. Their lips taste of salt, of smoke and loss. You kiss them like you believe there will be something beyond all of this. Yet you do not believe. They let out a sob, raw, involuntary and afraid. Do you think we'll make it? Silence is your answer. The white ash that covers their face is streaked with lines from their fallen tears. Gently, you brush one away. You gaze at them, forcing yourself to remember every contour and ridge of the face that is so familiar, so beloved by you, to engrave it into the stone of your memory, imprint it into the sinews of your body. You clutch their face in your hands, holding them close to your chest. You remember their voice in the candlelight, soft and certain as they recited the hymn of the first flame. We are not forgotten, they whispered. We are the cherished. The Starwalker sees us. He loves us. You believed them. You both believed. You wore his glyph around your neck, an 11-pointed star carved from Riverstone. The god who taught the winds to sing, the god who gave birth to the firstborn, the god who wove the protecting veil from starlight and thought. Somewhere above, Mahagos descends. This new light falls like purifying scripture through broken glass. Within your chest, you feel a deep dread rising. But you are not at the end. Not yet. You are beneath the fig tree again. You remember the old stories of the Creator, the blessed Starwalker who has now been gone for so very long. His firstborn protected you, the cherished in his stead. They loved you. They cared for you. Then the Creator returned. How could the gods have let this happen? After all you had offered, after all the libations that had left your lips and the offerings poured out onto the greedy soils of Ner, you were there when the proclamation came, when the firstborn declared themselves sovereign. No more intercessions, no more obedience. They would protect you now, they had said. They would love you fully. And for a moment the world rejoiced. For a moment you truly believed that you'd been chosen. What came next began with silence in the high places. The shrines of the firstborn grew cold. Offerings dried untouched. The trees ceased to hum. You said it was a test. They said it was a sign, and the priest said nothing. Then came the ashlight, and all it entailed. The putrefying earth, the endless droughts, the bitter winters, and the Ornari. Their steps drag. Your hand tightens around theirs. They're slowing. Without hesitation, you take them in your arms, lifting them as you continue forward towards the spire. Their hands clasp behind your neck, clinging to you as they once did when you lifted them over the threshold of your home. If you could just make it to the spire, then perhaps the weavers could help you. Your beloved taught you the old prayer to them, not the one that the priests approved of, but the one their mother whispered before the first light of dawn. A prayer so old that the trees remembered it, even the gods did not. You said it together that night, under the withered fig tree, praying for absolution, praying for the divine to show some inkling of mercy. Nothing happened, but something heard. You still sang, even when the skies cracked and the spire turned black. You sang until the flames sang back. You struggle with the exertion now, your aching body tired and failing. They are light, so much lighter than they should be. You are too. Your bodies thinned as the famine came, as the Earth Mother withdrew her blessings from Nur. You still smiled. After all, you still had each other. You still had your faith. You still had your children. But no longer. Famine does that. It hollows. It hushes. It leaves you weightless. You remember when they were born. Twins, as was right, a boy and a girl, blessed and bright. A hard labour, but one that ended in joy, in tears, consecrated by the whispered blessing of Mother Vorath. The priestesses said it was a sign that your love had been seen and answered, that the gods smiled upon you. You named them. One for the rivers, one for the stars. You remember holding them against your chest, still warm, their tiny hearts beating like new prayers, your fingers entwined with those of your beloved. You were both good parents. You still sang to them when the rains failed, when the harvest withered and paled. You told them that the weavers would find a way. You never did cry much, not even at the end. When you weigh so little to begin with, it can hurt too much to keep going. You buried your children beneath the great ossuary of Zurathel. It was a quiet ceremony, attended only by the two of you. There are not many here alive left to attend. It hurts to remember, although their names no longer come to your mind. It is as if someone else is remembering for you, dragging up the pain but not the details. There is only the feeling of what once was, a remembrance of who you once were. And it is agonizing. It would have been so easy to have given up then, to hold each other in your shared agonies and let your grief wash over you in great waves until you were both consumed by it. But that would not bring them back. It would only ensure that you left this world just as hollow. So you made the figures. Kneeling in ash and river clay, you shaped them with trembling hands, two small effigies, light as breath, made in the likeness of what you remembered, what you were afraid you might forget. Red clay for their bodies, threads of their clothes bound with black grass, the ash of the hearth where they last laughed. At dusk, you spoke their lives aloud, one memory for each year they lived. Spoken without weeping, that was the rule. The pain had to be named before it could be carried. And when the last remembrance passed your lips, your hands broke the figures upon the mourning stone. One, then the other, quiet cracks like twigs underfoot. Your beloved lit the fire. In went the fragments, the threads, the braid, a pinch of soul salt, and then silence. 8 days of it. Grey veils and bitter root. No words, no songs. If the gods wished, they would come to you in dreams. If not, they would carry the silence as their final gift. Because love demanded it. Because grief is the shape that love leaves behind. Because the gods still watched over you then. But your gods did not come. It is close now. The sacred heat, the holy cleansing, the golden flames that erase doubt and flesh alike. You remember wanting it once. You remember singing with the others, welcoming the birth of a new god. You remember opening the gates. You remember what came through. You do not tell them. You cannot tell them. You had never dreamed that the Creator would offer up his cherished upon the funeral pyre of his children. The sky burns with an ash light, cold and terrible. The wind carries the scent of jasmine, and with it, a memory. The psalms etched into the stone over the cenotaph, beneath which you prayed with thousands of others. Lord Taros himself had blessed your union. The grove tender had crowned you both with twin bind and ashthorn circlets as you made your sacred vows before them. A blessed day. A happy day. A day worth remembering. You stood barefoot before the altar of woven boughs, beneath the arch of scorched laurel and fig. The sun was high, veiled in smoke. It wasn't from war then, but from the incense. Gold root, jasmine, emberthorn burned to call the eyes of the gods upon you. The priest, of course, did not speak. That was not their place. This was a vow given by mortals alone, to each other and to the divine, beneath no gaze but the shaman and the warrior. You had gathered the twin bind yourself, sought it in the river cloisters where the vines curled like breath into stone. You wove them with ashthorn blooms, bright as blood, blooming only where the fires had passed. You crowned one another in silence. The thorn stayed in the wreaths. That too was part of the vow. Then came the binding. You slashed your palm and bled into the matrimonial cups. They did the same. You both drank from it long and deep. You pressed your palms together, and the priest poured the oil of remembrance over your hands. It was sap dark, drawn from the trees that grew in the grove. You whispered your vows, each word sacred. Not promises of ease, nor dreams of peace, but oaths to endure, to hold through the breaking of all things. Then the fire was lit. Together you cast your wreaths into the brazier. So did thousands of others wed that day, not to destroy them, but to transform them. The smoke would rise to Ashara to record your bond. The heat would carry your names to Thazil, so that he might forge them together in the halls beyond time. That night, meteors rained across the sky. The gods had blessed these unions, the oracles cried. Two shadows on the stone cast long by firelight. Two voices made one. Two paths bound together, along with thousands of your kin. You were wed in the old way, the true way, the way of Nur. The fire reaches the outer districts. The very air is a wrathful sermon. It burns the lungs of the unbelievers last. Your beloved will not make it to the spire. Perhaps you could, should you go on alone, but you will not leave them. It looms ahead, blackened and bright, and then your knees give way. Not from the pain, but from sound. No, not quite sound, not exactly. There is a light that vibrates within your bones. There is a pressure behind your eyes, a language unspoken but imposed upon you. You hear the voice of Mahagos. You are offerings. Your beloved gasps, collapsing beside you. Their hand tightens upon yours. Blood runs from their nose. You stand. Somehow you stand. Not them, you whisper. Take me. The fire does not answer. It undulates across the sky in twisting columns of fierce gold, scouring the land. As a new god is born, the old world dies. You pull them through the gates of the old gardens. This is where you first kissed, where you first caught a glimpse of them all those years ago. They caught your gaze. A slow smile spread across their face as they recognized the same spark you felt. Love, sudden and undeniable. You had never believed in love at first sight, but they had proven you wrong that summer afternoon. This is where they told you their truth. That which they had never shared with any before, and never shared with any after. This is where you said you would never leave. You have always been a liar, but never to them. They fall. You catch them. Too fast, too hard. One of your legs buckles beneath you. Their breath catches. Yours does not return. It doesn't matter now. They look at you, eyes wet with ashen tears, and ask you to stay. You do. When the fire comes, it hurts, but unlike flesh, unlike bone, it is the pain of being remembered wrong, the ache of your name no longer fitting your shape, a sorrow that strips, not sears, unwriting, unmaking, unbeing. You whisper the name that you were afraid to say. It leaves your lips like smoke. Like song, you feel it carve itself into the air, into them. They look at you, and in their eyes there is peace. Their voice is leaving you. You can feel it, soft on your skin, then gone. The memory of their laugh unravels in your mind like frayed thread. You remember their favorite flower, and then you don't. You try to picture their hands, and only smoke comes. You try to speak, but the words fall from your tongue like ash. You were together for 26 years, or was it 12, or 5? You remember the wedding, the fig tree, the children. No! You remember running, a city burning, someone holding your hand. You remember that you loved them. That is the last thing the fire lets you keep, until it takes you with it. Somewhere in the ash, a fig tree dreams, and in its roots, your name lingers.